What's going on, YouTube gamers? Bonfire here, and it's that time again where we get to sit down and talk about all the games we've been playing. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel or this series, this is a pretty new series that I've started up where once a month we sit down and I talk about all the games that I've been playing over the last month, and it also gives me an opportunity to kind of share some of my thoughts and things I liked and disliked about those games that I've been playing. So, given that it's been about a month since our last update, the holidays are officially wrapped up, pun intended, and I took some time off work during the holiday season, which allowed me to play a lot of games and try to catch up on some of the ones I haven't got to yet. So, let's get into it. One of the first games I dove into since our last update, after I put Dragon Quest Heroes down because I kind of lost interest in that game, though I can see myself going back, is Life is Strange. Now, if you've been a long time subscriber to the channel, you might remember in my 2015 End of the Year series, Life is Strange was the winner in the category of the best game I should have played for that year. And well, I didn't really get to it in 2016 till the very end of the year, but I finally did start this game, and I'm 2 episodes in, and I'm enjoying it. It's Telltale-like, except it's got a twist in which you can control and manipulate time and kind of go back and see how some of your decisions may or may not play out. So it's kind of a cool aspect that's been added to that Telltale formula, and I'm eager to see where it goes. I'm definitely going to finish it up and get through the rest of the episodes. One of the things I like about it the most is that it feels like a TV show in the sense that there's this major plot throughout all of the episodes that's going on, but there's also these subplots that are kind of being developed and get touched on throughout the episodes, and I really want to see how those are going to play out because I think they're really interesting, as well as the main subplot. So I definitely will be finishing this one. Another game I played through on my PlayStation Vita was Hue. And this is a game I want to spotlight on the next episode of What's This Game, because it is fantastic. It is such a great game. It's a puzzle platformer, a 2D puzzle platformer that uses colors to solve those puzzles. It's a really unique concept that they do very, very well. I think it's beautiful with the colors they use, kind of a generic art style outside when the colors aren't used, but I think it's still such a beautifully well-designed game that it deserves people playing it. So I want to spotlight it, share it with you guys, and it's cross-buy on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita, so which is always awesome. So I cannot recommend this game enough. Keep an eye out for when I do spotlight this game on a future episode of What's This Game, because it's worthy of your time. If you like puzzle platformers, you're gonna love this game. Another game I dove back into is Uncharted 4. And while I was getting some footage for my end of the year series of my 2016 Game of the Year, spoiler alert there if you haven't watched that episode, but I decided to dive into the multiplayer because I hadn't played any of the Uncharted 4 multiplayer since its beta before the game even launched. And my goodness, it is so underrated. Uncharted 4 multiplayer is fantastic. It's just so much fun and it's really well done. And it's such a nice change of pace from your typical first-person shooters and even third-person shooter multiplayers like Gears of War, because it's got its own unique flair to it, and it's got a different learning curve to it, and I've just been having a ton of fun with it. I want to get back to it because it's that good. Now, the multiplayer does have crates, but it only contains cosmetic items, and I find that it's really fun to grind for the different weapons, and it's fun to unlock some of the cosmetic items. It's just really fun to level up in that game and really work towards different items, and different multiplayer modes are fantastic. It's just a super underrated multiplayer, and if you have Uncharted 4, please do yourself a favor and try out the multiplayer because it's worth your time. Now, this next game that I played through on my holiday break from work is one that I'm pretty proud of. It's Demon's Souls. Now, as many of you know, I am a fan of the Souls games, and this one was on my list to play through because I hadn't played it. I kind of worked my way backwards. Started with Bloodborne, kind of went backwards, and the only one I haven't played now is the first original Dark Souls. But this game was good, and I really enjoyed it. There were some things that I liked about it, some things that I didn't like about it. For example, I really didn't like that you can be encumbered in Demon Souls and be overweight with items that you find. You kind of have to go back to the Nexus and drop off items with the vendor. I really disliked that system. Also disliked that you have to grind towards the beginning of the game, at least, for the little leaf items that heal you up, instead of having like a designated Estus flask, as we can see in the later Souls games. But what I did like about the game was I liked the level design and the way it was laid out, and you have this Nexus homeworld and different areas that you can travel to, different worlds, and I really liked that layout. I thought it worked really well, and I would love to see them do that in a future Souls-like game. Maybe, you know, Bloodborne 2? Just give me Bloodborne 2. I mean, come on. But there were also some really cool boss battles in this game, and though there were a couple of bosses I got hung up on a little bit, I would say as an overall, the game wasn't nearly as hard as, you know, some of the other Souls games. And I think it's interesting with the Souls franchise is that the first Souls game you ever play is going to be the most difficult. At least that's my experience throughout the games that I've played. But nonetheless, Demon Souls has been defeated. I enjoyed it. I'm happy to have beaten it, and only thing left is Dark Souls. Now, kind of a random game that I played on my tablet, my Amazon Kindle Fire that my wife got me for Christmas, is Croft Go. Now, if you know me, I don't play mobile games, and there are very few exceptions to that. But being that Amazon had a promotion, since I am a new Kindle Fire owner, I got Croft Go for free. They just said, here you go, here's this game for free. And I'd heard really good things about it on the Vita version, so I thought, yeah, let's give it a go. And it's good. It's a really good puzzle game. I mean, if you like puzzle games, you're gonna like this game. And it really kind of opened my eyes to having a desire to want to play some of the other Go games. I know there's Hitman Go, there's Deus Ex Go, and now Croft Go. And I think at least Hitman Go I know is on the Vita, so I kind of want to get that game and give it a go because they're just really fun games. And levels are relatively short, so they're a game you can kind of pick up, put down on the go. That's probably why they call it Go. There you go. I just said Go like 10 times. Let's move on. Another game I dove into is Valkyrie Chronicles 2. And if you watch my end of the year series, you probably have heard that I'm a big fan of Valkyrie Chronicles Remastered. That game is just absolutely amazing. And in preparation of the new Valkyrie game, Valkyrie Revolution, which actually just came out in Japan a couple days ago, I figured, let's play through Valkyrie Chronicles 2. Downside, it's only a PSP game. Plus side, I can play it on my PS Vita, so I started it. So I'm about 8 or 9 hours into Valkyrie Chronicles 2, and the gameplay is great. It's got the same type of combat that Valkyrie Chronicles has, and I like that they did change some things up, and you can tell they scaled it back to make it work on the PSP when it was originally released. It's not all bad, and I'm enjoying that aspect of the game. However, the story really hasn't got me yet. And that's kind of been my problem with the game so far. You play a soldier in a military academy, and it kind of feels like Harry Potter in the sense there's all kind of these weird school things going on that I'm not really enjoying. And I can tell that there's a bigger picture, a bigger story, bigger battle, if you will, that's kind of brewing in this game. But I just haven't got there yet. And again, being 8 or 9 hours in this game and I still haven't got there yet, to me is kind of a problem. But I do want to continue it to try and get there and see how it's going to play out. So I will do that. And finally, the last game I've been playing most recently is Trauma Team. Yeah, that's a Wii game. I've been playing a Wii game, and it's freaking awesome. So I don't know what it was, but about a week or week and a half ago, I just had this itch to play a Trauma game. I couldn't tell you how it got started, but I was just thinking, I kind of want to play Trauma. And so I started looking into the games, And if you don't know what the Trauma series is, Trauma was a series that was out during the Wii, as well as I think there was a couple games on the DS, but you get to play as a doctor doing all kinds of different surgeries. And it's really fun. The gameplay is really, really cool. And I remember when the Wii first came out, playing one of the older Trauma games at one of my friend's house and just thoroughly enjoying it. So I wanted to play a Trauma game. So I used one of my gift cards to pick up Trauma Team, which I think is the most recent of the Trauma games for the Wii. And it's awesome. It's fantastic. I'm thoroughly enjoying this game. Now this game follows these 6 doctors here on the cover, and the cool thing is their stories intertwine, and quite frankly the story is very Japanese. It's weird, but there's some cool parts and some cool things that happen from what I've played of it so far, but again, it's very Japanese, very weird, but the gameplay is where this game's at. The gameplay is fantastic. And so each of these 6 doctors have different specialties, different field specialties, so you do all kinds of different surgeries. And one of the things that I think is a first for the Trauma series, I could be wrong, but it's the first time I've ever played anything like it, is you get to do diagnostics. So you get to diagnose patients as one of the characters, and you get to do forensics and autopsies as another one of the characters. So you get to put together evidence and solve crimes. And it's really cool. It's really unique. I've never played anything quite like that. And the gameplay is awesome. I can't wait to finish this game up. And I would highly recommend the Trauma series. And there you guys have it. Those are all the games that I've been playing over the last month or so. Quite a long list. But again, I had some time off work. Didn't really have plans. So I dove into games. And it was freaking awesome. Let me know what you guys have been playing down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'm Bonfire, and I will see you online.
Now come up, it's 80 you now if you with me, put your hands up. On the fly, lady, set a front, go ahead.